Burma coup resistance notes October 13, 2022. Ethnic regions. In Beit-Tavoy District of Kawthoolei, Tanintharyi Region on Burmese maps, local PDFs intercepted another junta convoy yesterday. This one 9 vehicles on the way from Myeik to Palaw in Tapo village. They exchanged fire for 20 minutes, during which 7 junta troops were killed and 4 wounded. Afterward, the junta troops fired mortars into Yanthan village where they injured 3 adult civilians and a child. Also in Beit-Tavoy District yesterday, PDFs opened fire for 20 minutes on a marching column of 70 junta troops near Nyaungpinkwin in Tanintharyi Township. There were at least 3 junta casualties. After the battle, the troops invaded Nyaungpinkwin village and robbed the citizens at gunpoint, taking money and more than 100 mobile phones. Refugees fled from 7 nearby villages. In Palaw District of Kawthoolei, Palaw Township on Burmese maps, junta troops wounded 5 civilians including children and elderly yesterday when they fired rifles and grenades randomly into ethnic Karen villages from moving vehicles traveling from Myeik toward HPAN. Most of the casualties were in Kawthoolei village of Nyaungpinkwin Township, Palaw District. An old woman was shot in the hip, a farmer was shot returning from his field, a child was shot, and 2 injuries occurred when a junta mortar hit a school. This act brings violence for the first time into an area that had been quiet. Also in Palaw yesterday, the local head of the junta proxy USDP political party was assassinated at home. Junta scorched earth village terrorism campaign. Troops completely burned and destroyed Thechawk village of Pork Township yesterday and today. This village is in the Myeik Township oil belt, where local citizens operate small-scale petroleum wells. Junta army desertions. Another junta Air Force officer has defected. A sergeant from the Taungoo Air Base joined the Karenni Defense Forces yesterday, saying he regrets not having left earlier. He was preceded last week by 3 other Air Force deserters from Mandalay who provoked an urgent search by junta troops, and whose whereabouts are still unknown. People's Defense Forces PDFs. In Zagaring Region, a PDF in southern Monawa Township bombed a junta truck carrying 30 troops on the Monawa-Mandalay Road 2 days ago, October 11. The truck's windows were smashed but it drove on. Yesterday it was learned that it arrived in Monawa with 5 dead troops on board from the blast. Local PDFs place landmines around villages to protect them against junta invasion. Those landmines have to be well indicated to the villagers to avoid accidents, and need to be maintained and cleaned, especially during rainy season. A PDF soldier was killed yesterday in an accident while conducting landmine maintenance in Kinu Township. Almost 20 PDF fighters have died in accidents with mines, bombs, and local weapons manufacture and testing. In Myeik Region, 2 junta troops and a Paiu Sorhati thug were drinking tea in a shop in Yesagyo Township yesterday when a PDF burst in with pistols and bottle grenades and killed them. In Myeik Township, 10 PDFs spent 30 minutes firing 60mm, 80mm, and 120mm locally made mortars into a junta camp yesterday, until junta reinforcements arrived. They were firing from a distance and couldn't quantify casualties. PDFs are increasingly competing with the junta in mortar warfare. Urban warfare. In Yangon, an urban PDF drone bombed a junta interrogation torture center in Line Township yesterday. Troops responded by shooting the guns in all directions. This is one of 4 torture centers in Yangon. The same evening another PDF set off a remote bomb in the employee quarters of the junta communications staff in Nyaungpinkwin Township. Again, troops began shooting, but the PDF was long gone. Economics. With the withdrawal of most international companies from Burma's energy sector, the junta is trying to get Russians to take their place. A Russian diplomatic envoy to the ASEAN regional bloc met with junta business cronies yesterday to discuss investment in special economic zones, oil and gas, and chemical fertilizer industries. Recently the junta announced a plan for coupling the rapidly devaluing kyat currency to the Russian ruble. With even China keeping its distance from the shrinking Burmese military regime, dictator Min Aung Hlaing is increasingly putting all his eggs in the Russia basket. The Russians are not friends so much as merchants seeking to continue selling high-ticket weapons systems to the Burma regime for as long as it lasts.